It is Saturday, September 6th, and the Yankees were taking on the Blue Jays in Game 2 of a 3-game set and trying to recover after a tough loss on Friday night. Luis Gil was on the mound. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. A little bit later than we expected because of the long rain delay today. But the Yankees have evened the series against the Blue Jays. Very nice job. We had some pretty good pitching by Luis Gil. He was a little bit more wild than you'd want. He had 4 walks today and only 1 strikeout. But 1 run over 6 innings. You'll take that every time. Big base knock from Jason Dominguez, a guy who has not been getting in the game very often. Trent Grisham showed that he was mortal with an 0-for-4 game and 3 strikeouts today. Bellinger also had a really good day. He walked 3 times, but the story with him was that he made an unbelievable throw home to nail a runner and save a run. But Austin Wells with a couple of ribbies today. Nice job by the bullpen. Luke Weaver got a couple of outs. Fernando Cruz was phenomenal. And David Bednar went 1 1/3 with 3 strikeouts to close out the game. So, despite the rain, the Yankees were able to maintain the solid pitching, over the interruption. That's not always easy to do. Sometimes after a rain delay, things can get sloppy, but Yankees were able to get it done. Not a great day for the offense for either side. Yankees and Blue Jays each with 5 hits, and nobody hit the ball out of the ballpark for either side today. So good to see that the Yankees can win a game where they're not hitting home runs. We got some comments here. Collaborative Filmwork says, at least it's good to know that a bad ump can be equally bad for both teams. Yes, the umpiring was not good today. Mary Beth says, you gotta love Cruz's emotion. 100%. Cruz was phenomenal. I love how amped he gets on the bench. Just a great, great performance from Fernando Cruz. Let's get to the recap. So Volpe was back in there at shortstop, and he made an outstanding catch. It was a while ago now. It was over 4 hours ago. On the first pitch of the game, pop up down the line in the sun. McCann lost it, and Volpe was hustling and battling the sun the whole way and made the play.
Stellar defense.
We give this kid a lot of crap. And obviously, he did not have a great day offensively. He did hit a double, 29th double of the year. But we got to give him some props when he makes a really nice play, and that was a nice play. Yankees jumped out to an early lead in this game. Bottom of the second, Bellinger walked, scored on a base hit from my favorite Martian, Jason Dominguez. Dominguez was 1 for 2 with a walk, sporting a 716 OPS on the season, 255 average, which doesn't sound like a lot. But it's higher than Grisham, it's higher than Rice, it's higher than Volpe and Wells and McMahon. I mean, he makes contact, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not ready to give up on Jason Dominguez. I think we all expected him to have more power by this point and hoped that he would be, an elite defender, but it hasn't worked out that way. I think the power potential is there. I think the offensive upside is there, but big hit for JD today. I was glad to hear that the broadcast acknowledged how good a job he's done adapting to being a limited player. Since Judge got hurt, he has not been getting in there all that often. And it seems like when he does play, he'll pick up some hits and he gets some big hits. So nice job by Dominguez. Yankees got another run on a sac fly by Austin Wells. Fantastic play by the right fielder to rob. It was Barger. He robbed Wells of potentially a double, maybe another run because Dominguez was running on the pitch. So nice play. Judge singled and swiped his 10th base of the year. He doesn't steal as much as he used to. I don't think he needs to, so it's always interesting when he goes. I always worry about the toe. You don't hear much about the toe anymore, but they said that was going to be a chronic condition. So anyway, he almost hit the ball out of the ballpark today, too. He hit one to the warning track that got caught, just fell a little bit short. And obviously the base knock that ricocheted in a weird way right to the left fielder, so he wasn't able to take second base on it. But good sign that he's hitting the ball hard today. Tomorrow, Max Scherzer on the mound. They swapped him with Chris Bassett today. I'd be interested to see how Max Scherzer works against Aaron Judge. If he challenges him with the fastball, that could be a good matchup. Anyway, Blue Jays made a bid to tie up the game in the top of the 6th inning. Bellinger, absolutely hosed Bichette at the plate. Just one of the best throws of the year. Immediately afterward, they put the tarp on for the delay, so you knew that Luis Gil's day was over. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 run. We'll talk more about him in just a minute. Bo Bichette ended up limping off the field. I thought for a minute maybe he tore his ACL or whatever, but he stayed in the game, so the rain delay obviously helped there for him. After the delay, Yankees got back on the board, walked to Dominguez, double off the wall from Volpe, and then another RBI from Austin Wells. Good stuff from Luke Weaver and Fernando Cruz today. Cruz left a couple of men on base for Bednar in the 8th. Bednar got out of it. Definitely got a call from the umpire. He got multiple calls from the umpire, honestly. But he did get 3 strikeouts. And the Yankees, even the series.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Got some super chats here. Felix Nunez says, what a great feeling to have a legitimate closer. David Bednar looks good. And you know what? I was absolutely terrified that Devin Williams was going to pitch in this game. I don't know why. I just had this fear that he was going to be pitching in this game. Boone has not shown that he grows from his mistakes. So Junior Caroma says Cashman and Howe better re-sign Grish and Belly. Definitely Belly. I'll be interested to see if they bring back Grish, but I definitely want Belly back.
Pay that man his money.
Brian Bashman says, FYI, the bet between Jazz and Judge is now 55-53 in favor of Jazz. They were betting on who would have a higher combination of home runs and stolen bases. Maybe that's why Judge is stealing, because he wants to win that competition, and he's not hitting home runs right now. Jared says he didn't want to see Devin Williams. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. All right, let's get to the belt today. We got Fernando Cruz. I was going to go with Bednar, but I felt like the umpire helped him out a little bit, and also the energy, that Mary Beth spoke about, I think is, a big deal. Injecting some life into the bench, getting guys pumped up, that's a big part of the game, and he does that well. So, second belt of the season for Fernando Cruz. He pulls past Oswaldo Cabrera, God, and Anthony Volpe, who are all tied with 1. Congratulations. All right, let's talk about the starting pitcher, Luis, the real deal, Gil, who had a great day. If I told you before the game that he was going to have 4 times as many walks as strikeouts, you probably would have said that he was going to have a terrible day. But he pitched around the walks. He scattered 3 hits to go along with the 4 walks. If you scatter the runners and spread them out, maybe you allow some walks with 2 outs or whatever, you can work out of it. And that's what he did today. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. 3.31 ERA on the season. The whip actually went down a little bit today to 1.54. You'd really like a whip to be, for a starting pitcher, under 1.25. Anything over that, I start to really get nervous, right? Really, ideally, around 1, but not everybody can do that. For a guy who walks as many people as Luis Gil does, I'll take 1.25. The ERA, though, 3.31. Solid. Rookie of the year, nice performance. Stuff was terrific. He'll take 6 innings of 1-run baseball every single time. All right, so the Gauntlet. We are now 3-2 in the first 5 games of the Gauntlet. 7 to go. Yankees won 2 out of 3 against Houston, at Houston. They have split the first 2 games with Toronto. And tomorrow's going to be a good game. Tomorrow's going to be fun. We have got Max Fried going up against Max Scherzer. When was the last time 2 guys named Max faced off? They might have done it earlier this year, but Max Fried 15-5 with a 2.98 ERA. Max Scherzer 5-2 with a 4.11 ERA. That game will kick off at 1:35 p.m. That's when I'm sure a lot of people will be tuning back and forth between football and baseball. Seems like that's kind of what we did in our house growing up when the Yankees played on Sunday, which is why I would always go off to a separate room and watch the Yankees. because I didn't really care that much about football. When it was up against the Yankees, I always chose the Yankees, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. And I will tomorrow. So tune in after the game for some post-game reactions. Speaking of post-game reactions, let's get some voicemails going.
Hey, Derek. Just want to say a few words about Fernando Cruz. He's new to the team this year, but I'm telling you what, he's the heart and soul of the bullpen. I'm watching the game right now. It's 3-1, top of the 8th. The game's not over, but just his energy to the game, I think, is priceless. And to watch him in there, cheering on his guys, it makes him wonder why the rest of the guys aren't doing the same thing.
I appreciate the call, man, and I agree 100%. I love the energy. Some guys are just like that. Some guys are like an energy black hole. They suck energy in, and they bring the team down, I think. And some guys just put that energy back out. I don't know if this is like woo-woo mysticism or whatever, but I feel like people just naturally have different ways of interacting with sort of the energy and the vibes in the room. Fernando Cruz is one of those guys who lifts everybody up, who gets everybody excited. He puts energy out there. We've had some guys in recent years who have the opposite effect. I think Clay Holmes is one of those guys. I think, Devin Williams might be one of those guys, just sucks the energy out. Look, Fernando Cruz, he's been vital to this pen. Our guy TK, who'll be on the show tomorrow, mentioned this when the Yankees traded for him, that he has got some of the best strikeout stuff in the sport, and he has not been a disappointment. He has been racking up strikeouts all year. Love watching the guy pitch. Here's Tabor Talk.
Hey, Derek, Tabor Talk from the Catskills again. Yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention. Now, what a throw by Bellinger in the 6th, and great play by Wells too to get Boba there to save that run. But incredible. I want to know who do we sign next year? Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham. You can't keep both. So that's what I'm hearing. That's very unlikely. It's probably one or the other. And if you have to choose, I still say you got to go with Bellinger. So Bellinger has been so amazing this year, so solid. He's so smart. He could play any field. He's a great fielder, great guy. He's amazing with 2 strikes. No one's better than he's just great. And again, the Trent Grisham is unbelievable. The 30 home runs and all that, 830 OPS. He's just been absolutely incredible. I wish we could keep both, honestly, but
I wish we could keep both, and I wouldn't be opposed to the Yankees paying for both. That would be, I think, money well spent. I think Grisham is for real. I mean, if you look at his metrics, and I'll pull up his StatCast metrics here, he has maintained well above average numbers, on all of these baseball savant stats all year long, right? He's in the 91st percentile of batting run value. The only thing that's interesting is that his fielding run value is down this year, and his base running value is not good. I think part of that is he's been nursing a leg injury all year, and he's been playing through it. And actually, that's one of the reasons I like him, is because he continues to play through it, even though he's not feeling his best. We got a lot of guys who, if they're feeling anything in years past, right to the IL. Don't even show up. But he's a guy who's clearly playing through something and still managing to play at a high level. So nothing but respect for Trent Grisham. Here's Rick.
Hey, Derek. It's Rick in South Carolina. The throw that Bellinger just made to end the 6th inning is a perfect example of why Judge cannot play right field anytime soon. Yeah, that run would have scored, and they got to re-sign Cody Bellinger. The guy just does it all.
I agree with signing Bellinger, but you got to have Judge in the outfield. Every once in a while, a run is going to score on Judge. That's just, we've got to learn to live with that. You make that sacrifice to get both Judge and Stanton in the game. Because, today it sucked not having Stanton in the game, but he's, as Judge transitions back in the outfield, going to be your primary DH. And the way he's been hitting this year, he's going to account for a lot more runs in than you lose having Judge in the outfield. Right now, if I'm the Yankees, I'm telling Judge, catch everything you can get to, hit the cutoff, man, don't hurt yourself. And also, buy a first baseman's glove in the offseason. Brian Bashman says, Trent Grisham 2025 is Aaron Hicks 2018. Hicks he had some good years early on. The Yankees signed him to that long contract, and he was just never the same. I don't know if I agree, though. I think whatever Grisham has done it's going to stick, right? He's found it. Some guys are late bloomers. He's 28 years old. Some guys, it takes a while. But this is a guy who was a 15th overall pick by the Brewers. And the Brewers, as we've seen, can scout. They know. So, I mean, he's a legit player. He's called about Volpe.
Hey, Derek, Matt here from California. Man, Volpe is killing me. If you look at his ops right now, I'm looking at the ops during the delay. His ops is 666. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know about Volpe. Bummed to see him in the lineup, and again, leaving runners on. They got to do something with this guy. I'm over him.
666. Devilish. I don't even know if that, the game was still going on at that point. Let's see what he finished with. 669. So slightly better. But overall this year, Volpe just not having the numbers that we want. He does have 70 RBIs and 19 home runs. I'd be interested to know how many Major League shortstops at this point have 19 home runs and 70 RBIs. He's also got 16 stolen bases, but this is what I'm concerned with. 271 on-base percentage. If he was hitting 208 but also walking a ton and had a 330 on-base percentage, with his speed, you could live with that. But he doesn't get on base enough to justify. To me, he's turning into almost like a Joey Gallo of shortstop, right? Decent defender, not great, not as great as he was as a rookie. No arm, but he has driven in runs. So I saw someone the other day say you can't turn the page on a 24-year-old shortstop. If I were the GM, I would say, watch me. Here's Willie.
Before I can say anything, Weaver gives up a double. But he better not bring in Williams, Duval, or Leiter in the next inning.
Willie for manager. Here's Mo.
Hey, Derek, it's Mo. So Austin Wells just got a sac fly, and so far he's now batting .215 with 20 home runs and 65 RBIs on that sac fly. 17 OPS, and he has really turned it around since August. Really, in his last 15, he's batting .280, 333 on base percentage with 5 homers, 8 RBIs. He's been very good, and the thing that maybe the Yankees could consider, maybe having Rice just be your everyday first baseman, because you have got to get him in the lineup, man. You've got to have Wells in this lineup right now.
I'm much more high on Rice than I am on Wells. Although you're right, over his last 20 games, Austin Wells hitting .245 with 9 RBIs, 11 runs scored. I do like that he gets sacrifice flies. He'll drive in runs. He'll get guys in. I think Rice has a higher upside as a hitter. I think Wells is a better catcher. It's an interesting conundrum that the Yankees have. I think the Yankees would be better off committing fully to one guy and not, no half measures, Walter. You know what I'm talking about from Breaking Bad? I think you got to let one of these guys play full time and then get a proper backup. Austin Wells, I think will lose a little bit of value framing-wise once ABS comes. And Rice, I don't think is as good as a catcher as Austin Wells, but I think Rice has a higher upside as an offensive player. He's already gotten more home runs and, he hits the ball harder, more frequently, doesn't strike out quite as much. And he's not as experienced as Austin Wells, right? So Austin Wells had more of an opportunity. So I would not be opposed to trading Austin Wells, making Ben Rice your everyday catcher. But the option exists, if Bellinger signs elsewhere, if he opts out and he goes to maybe the Mets, Ben Rice can easily slide in as your first baseman. Then you got, first baseman who lefty power. Yankees love that. And then you still got Wells behind the dish. And then maybe you bring Grisham back to play center field. You still got Dominguez for left. I think they need to prioritize signing Cody Bellinger, because you can either play him at center field or first base. That allows you to kind of plan the rest of your offseason. Quick word from DraftKings, and we'll be back to wrap it up. Game on! Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football, it's first touchdown fireworks, anytime TD rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
So we got a comment here that I want to bring up. It says that Austin Wells is hitting better than Adley Rutschman. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Rutschman's stats because I haven't looked at him in a while. And we're going to find out how he's doing this year. Because when he first came up, he was a monster prospect. And you know what, Brian Bashman? You are absolutely 100% correct. Adley Rutschman hitting .227 this year with 9 home runs, 29 RBIs. So, you know, Wells driving in many more runs. That's an interesting stat. I did not realize that. Although I knew that, you know, the Orioles' young talent hasn't exactly panned out. But to see that Wells is outplaying him, definitely worth noting. So, hey, that's why you can't predict baseball, right? Can't predict baseball, right, Susan? We got another call here. It's about Luis Gil.
Hey, Derek, it's Thomas, and I'm just talking about Luis Gil's velocity. It's kind of been all over the place with his fastballs today. He's thrown like 93 to like 98. I don't know if that's just he's a little fatigued when he pitches. I don't even know.
So they actually mentioned this on the broadcast last time. He's purposefully trying to throw not quite as hard on every pitch, maybe to save some strength, but also to dial in his fastball a little bit. And, you know, that would presumably help him throw more strikes, although that wasn't how it worked out today. You got another call here about Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, here's some numbers for Ryan McMahon to back up what I'm saying about how terrible he is. He's hitting a big .239 since we got him. He's played 35 games. He's got 3 home runs, and he's got 15 friggin' RBIs. That equates to about 15 homers a year and about 65 to 70 runs batted in a full year. You know, you can't have that as a third baseman. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the call, Robert. So when he was with Colorado, he actually hit .217, so he's actually improved on his numbers since coming to the Yankees. From Colorado, .217 batting average with the Yankees, .239. On-base percentage with Colorado, .314. With the Yankees, .341. Now, the OPS is only up a tick from .717 to .726, and the slugging is actually down a little bit. His OPS plus is .103 with New York, .90 with Colorado. He's already amassed almost as much in 36 games WAR with the Yankees as he did with Colorado. With the Yankees, 0.9 WAR in 36 games. Colorado, 1.2 WAR in 100 games. So I think he's actually playing okay, and I think there's a lot more upside there. The Yankees are trying to work out his swing. I think maybe, Robert, you're judging him a little bit too soon. To me, he looks great on defense. He's a phenomenal defender, and the Yankees got him for nothing. Nothing. You can maybe unlock something as a hitter. He's got great exit velocity when he makes contact, which, unfortunately, he doesn't do enough. But I think there's something in there, and I like what we've seen from him so far. So give him some time, Robert. And one more time, Yankees even the series.
Yankees win. Yankees win.
Wayne J with the final word says, McMahon is definitely a step up as a third baseman. He does need to continue his offensive ascent. Let's keep that trend line going upward, baby. We'll be back after tomorrow's game. I'll have TK with me, and we'll recap this series, and we'll be halfway through the gauntlet. Right now, Yankees have won 3 out of the first 5. Tomorrow is the halfway point. And if you can take tomorrow, that would mean you've taken each of the first 2 series, one against Houston, one against Toronto. You would send Toronto out of town just 2 games back with 21 to play, which, quite frankly, is doable given the Yankees' schedule down the stretch. So, fingers crossed. We'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.